it's like, to get that, you need to stay, like we say, stay close to the fire. You need to come to things like this, come to the trainings. A very helpful thing is to every day go into the testimonial group. Every day. And when you go in the testimonial group, by the way, often you can sort it at the top. You can sort it to show new posts, not just new activity. So if it's sorted, I think by default, it's often new activity, which means if someone comments on a testimonial from 2 years ago, that will be at the top. And you're like, I've seen that 5 times, but you want to see the new ones. Yeah. So if you sort the list of posts at the top, new posts, then you'll see the new one every day. And that's one of the best ways to stay excited. Just especially if you're in this business because you like helping other people, that's how you stay excited. It helps you overcome any frustration. You're like, okay, well, who cares if John said no? I got to go help Bob. Or let's keep telling people this is amazing, right? So, next question.
This testimonial group is on Facebook, right?
Correct. Yeah. And if you go to 30days2pro.com, the link to the testimonial group is.
Oh, okay.
And the link is called vidifystories.com.
Great. That's one.
Yeah, so the 30 days to pro, it just says, hey, say very little, use tools. So you can download and share pictures to people. And then there's 2 links on there, vidifyresults.com and vidifystories.com. Vidifyresults.com goes to the YouTube playlist. At the very top of that playlist is a 3-minute video on the technology, and then just stories. And Vidify Stories goes to the Facebook testimonial group.
Okay.
Yeah. So next question.
I have also a question.
Yes, I also have a question.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead,
Peter.
Go ahead, Joy.
People can pay with credit card or PayPal. In Holland, most people used Ideal. Is there something known that will change?
We're working on that. Yes, we're working.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I have someone who wants to buy the biggest package as a distributor, but he doesn't have that. I just talked to him.
Yeah. Send him so he can pay, and you paid with your. So he pays you, and you paid with your credit card.
No, his sister got a credit card, so that's okay.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jana?
I speak to many therapists and they say, oh, but I'm not going to sell products. They only believe in their way of coaching and they're not interested in selling products. How can I get them to see the value of it?
Yeah, so the mistake is thinking that you're in a convincing business. Like if someone says to me, Steve, I can't do Vidify, I can't sell the product because yesterday I ran out of peanut butter. You know what I would say?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's tragic. I understand. Yeah. Thanks. Bye.
Okay.
Right. You know who typically makes very, very poor network marketers? Therapists and practitioners.
Okay. So I must stop reaching out to them.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. If you give me option of, okay, here's a mom of 4 kids, or a medical doctor, and the mom really wants some money to put her kids in school, better school, who would I prefer as a business partner? 100% the mom. Forget the doctor.
The bigger the why, the easier the how.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're not in the convincing business, number one. So if someone gives you a reason why they don't want to do it, you don't need to overcome it. I mean, I'll answer anyone's questions, but I don't worry about overcoming objections. Okay, it's not because
do
it to sign up, then I'm going to have to convince them to continue doing it. So here's what you'll find is the amount of effort and work it takes to get someone into the business is, we call it, inversely proportional to how much they'll do. So, it's really hard to get them. They had all these questions and very complicated, and they're just a pain in the ass. And guess how much they'll do? Pretty much nothing.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if someone is here's what you'll find is when people start asking you a lot of questions and they have all these little objections, what they're trying to do is they're trying to eliminate any risk. And we're in business. It's you have to be very comfortable with risk. So all they're telling me is they're not emotionally wired to be a business person. They need to be an employee, not in business.
Exactly. Yeah.
Steve, where's the line between answering all the questions and not saying too much and sending them to a three-way call or whatever?
Yeah, so I would be very careful. You don't, when I say answer questions, what I'm actually meaning is I send them to the resource that answers it for me.
Okay, okay. So basically
Always.
you hardly ever speak yourself at all, only for third parties, not for your own prospects.
I literally enrolled someone with $1,000 kit using 33 words.
Oh, you counted them?
Yeah, I counted them. She said, "What do you do?" I go, I will show you picture, 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 picture on my phone. She goes, "What is it?" I go, "Do you know what turmeric is?" "Yes. It's turmeric with a German delivery system, makes it 18,000% more bioavailable." She says, "How do I get information?" I go, "What's your cell phone number? I'll send you some links."
Period.
And she called me at 7:30 the next morning. She goes, I've spent like hours on the testimonial page. I've been through everything. I want to do the $1,000 kit. See, because in the resources, it also went through what kit you should get, right? So that was answered. It was answered how much product she needs to take. Everything in the resources was answered, right? So I will avoid answering questions personally and send people the resource, even to the point of annoying people. Yeah.
So
Even to the point where they think maybe I'm not very smart. I'm fine with that.
so Steve,
Go ahead.
if someone tells you, I heard that curcumin has also counterindications. Where do you send him to see the? So
The only, if they're really curious, depending on the counterindication, the only real one typically is if someone says I'm on blood thinners, and I would say, well, go into the testimonial group and type in the word blood thinners, and you'll see lots of conversations about it. Really, the issue is we have plenty of people on blood thinners, and we don't see an issue because the amount of curcumin we need to use to get the results is very small.
okay.
Because it's very bioavailable, right?
Okay.
So the counterindications on the product are connected to using very large amounts of turmeric, not the amount of curcumin we use.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
So if someone goes, well, I'm taking like 500 to 1,000 milligrams of curcumin, I'm like, well, there's only 35 in ours because it's 18,000% more bioavailable. So it's not an issue.
Okay. That's the main question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's okay with that.
And here's a very important thing is we don't have clinical conversations with people, right? So many of you are going to make the mistake of going, oh, my friend has this certain type of clinical condition, so I think this product would help them with their clinical condition, so I'm going to go talk to them about their clinical condition, and that's a fundamental mistake. Here the issue is no one no one cares that they have a clinical condition? Do you know that? They don't actually care. Here's what they do care about. They care that because of that clinical condition, they're not sleeping well, they don't have energy, they can't think clearly, and they're in pain. So I don't need to have a conversation with them about their clinical condition. We're going to have a conversation about, hey, man, by the way, when I found something that's helping me sleep better, have more energy, better mental clarity, less discomfort in my body, less pain, you might try it. You're like, oh, awesome, right? Here's another example of asking questions, right? There was a woman, she did really, really well in network marketing. It was with a weight loss product, right? That made her feel better and helped her lose weight. And any question someone asked, she would just go, I really don't know. What I do know is this product helped me lose weight and feel better and have more energy. And I think if you took it, you would get the same benefit, no matter what question. What about this? I don't know. But what I do know, I have no idea. What I do know is this product's helping people sleep better, have better mental clarity, less pain, more energy. And I think if you took it, you'd probably feel great.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Got it.
Remember, nothing is 100%. And this is so powerful, what Steven just shared with us. Because we all tend to go look for, I can help someone with fibromyalgia, high blood pressure, you name it. But what we should care about is helping them have more energy, sleep better, less physical discomfort, and mental clarity. Because that's what they all need. Doesn't matter what medical condition. Ask them, they will tell you, yes, I want to sleep better. Yes, I want to have less pain. That is important for them, nothing else.
Yeah.
Okay, Steven, I have another question for you. I'm actually more active on LinkedIn. If you reach out to me on LinkedIn, how would you go about it? If I'm in your friend list, in your connection network?
You know, if you're reaching out to people, I'll tell you my experience from the other end and give you some suggestions based on that. I have a lot of people try and recruit me. It's difficult for them if I don't have a personal relationship with them, because so many people do try and recruit me. What would, you know, often when people try and recruit me, they're not respectful of my time. So they'll ask me for a certain amount of time, but they don't have a relationship with me that gives them the right to ask for that much time of my time. So, you know, I would use whatever you send, as I would use maybe a before and after picture.
But what's the first connection? How are you going to approach me? Say, for instance, I'm in your network. How are you going to approach me?
So first of all, I'll just be very upfront. I don't reach out like that. People I'm doing things that cause people to contact me. Okay. If I were to reach out, I might reach out and say, hey, picture, hey, I don't know if you're interested, but I found something that is helping me sleep better, have more energy, better mental clarity. Easy, simple product, great business associated with it. Let me know if you'd like a 3-minute video and a before and after picture. Right. And not like, oh, it's turmeric, it's this technology, blah, 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 blah. Like, no. Very little bit of information, but you have to have them be curious, right? So I need to create an environment where they start coming to me, right? You know, it's like, here's an example. Anyone here have horses? Anyone have any experience with horses, horseback riding, anything? Well,
no.
Here's the deal. If the horse is in the field, right? And I take the reins and everything, I need to ride the horse, and I'm like, I'm going to ride this horse, and I start walking towards the horse. I'm like, I'm going to ride you. The horse is like, you're freaking me out. I'm going to be walking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If I go very casually in the field, walking around, acting like I'm minding my own business, and the horse is like, like, what are you doing here?
They feel your energy.
Do you have something in your pocket? Maybe you have a carrot. I'm curious. You're like, oh, hi. Oh, you want a carrot? Maybe I have something for you. How about this? Right. So if you're doing it right, if you know, this is actually more personal interaction where you're meeting people in person. If you're doing it right, they should be thanking you for giving them information. Oh, thank you so much for going out of your way today to text me a link. That's very kind of you. If you're saying that, then you're doing it right. Okay.
If I can go back a few seconds, what was the powerful thing that Stephen just did when we talked about information, sharing information, asking permission? Would you like some info? Asking permission. When you ask permission and someone, yes, please, there's nothing awkward about that. Asking permission. I'm gonna repeat that. Asking permission.
Had a while back, I had a woman, she contacted me. She go, I have this great opportunity, blah, 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 blah. You should really check it out. I'm like, my standard procedure is I will look at anything. I'm always curious, but you better make it short. I'm like, great. Send me a 5-minute or under video. I will give you 5 minutes. You better send 5 minutes. And she goes, well, you can't. You have to get on a Zoom and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, I don't have time. She goes, when would you have time? She asked me, when would you have time? I'm like, in a couple months, maybe. She's like, kind of give me a hard time. Really? You're that busy? I went to her Facebook profile, unfriended her right on the spot. Then she got all offended about that. I'm like, okay, now you're blocked. Like, what? You're like, I didn't even know you. Who are you to like to ask me for like 40 minutes of my time? I mean, like, you got to be kidding me. Like,
Yeah, but then
a
another
5-minute video. I'm like, oh wow, now I'm interested. See, if you capture my interest, I might spend 3 hours on the testimonial group. But you better catch my interest first, right?
Yeah, sometimes I post something on the Feedify and then people are interested, then I send the link and then I wait a day or two, then I ask again, and some people find it then pushy, you know. Yeah, I don't know, how long do you wait until you've sent the links for them to watch it then? And they keep on posting all these posts about their pain and their issues. Then I think if I'm in that situation, I would like to get relief from it.
It's a numbers game.
Yeah, so here, personally, I will tell you this. If I have a Facebook friend who's posting all about their problems, I'll give them one chance. I'll offer a solution. If they don't take me up on it, I'll actually just unfriend them.
Yeah, just on the look on the face of this lady, I can just see she's not a happy person anyway. And yeah, you know,
Yeah. So here, here's what you could start the conversation off with is like, I have something that might help you if you're interested. That's it.
You see,
She will probably not take you up on it.
If you're interested.
If you're interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know, here's a very harsh reality check, and this may sound extreme and maybe not nice of me, but for many people, a cancer diagnosis is a form of socially acceptable suicide. That's harsh, Steve. I'm like, yeah. So typically, again, what did I say? It's like the more effort it takes to get someone on the product, the less likely they are to do anything with it. I might meet Iwan, like we randomly meet somewhere and he has something. I go, oh, I have something that might help you. You'd be shocked how often people go just right off the bat, well, where do I buy it? I'm like, buy what? I didn't even tell you about it. But he's like, why? He's like looking, right? He's searching for something.
Someone who is really looking.
Yeah.
They will take you on upon the offer you're giving them.
Yeah.
And if you want to take it, and then Eva, because Eva has put her hands up. Let's say we start from, you get a response of your post. You have a post on Facebook or LinkedIn, whatever. Okay. So someone is like, whoa, what is this? What do you do? I mean, Stephen just mentioned it. Okay, you take them to Messenger, you take them privately,
Mhm.
and you have the conversation. But how do you start that conversation? Stephen, maybe you can share.
In terms of which conversation, like,
Let's you,
like
you
they're
you put in a post. You're like, whoa, look at this. It helped this person to get rid of all the fluid in their leg. And they're
sure.
like, whoa.
People, I go ask to. I'll put in the post like a call to action. Ask to be added to the group.
Mhm.
So it is, you know, Peter said it's a number game, and in one degree it is. You know, I've put like I've probably sent the link to the testimonial group and different things to 700-800 people. Right.
Not just
Often,
17, not just 70.
yeah. Often I will go, people ask me for information and I will go to send them information. I go, oh, I've sent them this link twice before. I will send it again, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
They didn't catch it, right? So that's why we call the testimonial group ATM, add tag message, because people are distracted. So I'm gonna add them to the group. I'm gonna make sure they accept it. I'm gonna then tag them in a post. I'll message them about it. Like, so I want them to actually get their eyes on and engage into the group. Then that will start going. But that first part is like, oh, they forgot to add themselves, or they got distracted and they're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that thing. Right. So yeah, I would say be very, maybe check. Well, let me ask you this, Jonah. What do you want to do with this business? What would you like to do?
Well,
Sean,
yeah, I would like to have a large network. I've been searching for more than 10 years for a product like this. I was
Yeah.
also part of Manatech, and yeah, there's nothing like this, one product that helps for as many things and also most people can afford.
Yeah. How often are you offering the opportunity to partner with you in business to people you already know?
Well, that's the thing. I've been part of so many network marketing companies that people say, oh, well, now you come with this. So I must
I
start reaching
didn't
out.
ask you what you think people will say.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
asked you how many conversations have you had on that?
Quite a few, yeah.
Yeah. If you're having those conversations, how often are you bringing in the help of your upline in terms of three-way calls or three-way messaging?
Well, maybe not enough. Not enough.
Yeah. So what you're seeing is you're not coming into the conversation with confidence. So you're going to have to borrow that from somebody.
Yeah.
And the way you can borrow it is three-way calls, right? You know, for example, I'll give you an example, a Manatech example. Do you know who Ray Gebauer is? Yeah. Do you know how he built his business?
Yeah.
No.
True.
So when Ray was introduced to Manatech, he was living in a friend's basement, $40,000 in credit card debt, had just had his car repossessed and was divorced and had no room on any credit card. And someone he didn't even know cold contacted him about an opportunity. He goes, I think this is the opportunity, but he didn't have the $1,000. And his mom didn't have the $1,000 either, but he was pretty sure she had room on a credit card. And so he asked his mom for the money. She said no. He had to ask her 3 different times. Finally, she said no. Now, here's the interesting thing. His upline, very successful at network marketing over and over and over again. Very confident, very high energy guy. And this guy, his name was Jet, he offered to do three-way calls with every single person he recruited that month, right? 22 people he recruited, cold market, just right. Only 2 of them took them up on it, and only Ray Gebauer did very many. But Ray did 135 three-way calls his first month. and he ended up making $100,000 a month from that because he used that as a resource.
Mm-hmm.
So he combined excitement with he had to borrow the success. He had to borrow how to explain it. Because Ray, you know, like I don't often hear Ray talk. I'm like, Ray, if you're making $100,000 a month, I think you should hire a speech therapist because it's challenging to listen to you talk. You understand? Like what? You know, there was another guy who was this Indian fellow. I forget what his name was, Sikh Indian fellow, and he started with a company called Max International. And his upline, a guy named Ken Dunn, very dynamic dude, said, "I'll do as many 3-week calls as you want." And this guy, he wasn't very good at speaking. You know, nothing about him would be like, "Oh, I want to have a relationship with you." But he had a stack of business cards from people who had been in network marketing, and he did 3-way call after 3-way call after 3-way call after 3-way call after 3-way call with Ken, right? And Ken is like, I was wondering what the noise was in the background when I would do 3-way calls with him. And finally, he figured out the guy would fall asleep during the 3-way calls. but I ended up making $1 million with that. Yeah.
Can I say something? And this is for all of us, because something really special happened just a few seconds ago. Shauna was asked by Steven, Shauna, please tell me, what do you want with this business? What was Shauna, her answer? Listen carefully what Shauna is going to say. Shauna, what was your answer?
I want to build a big network.
No, you said, I've been looking for a product like this for all of my life. So the question was, and that's why I'm focusing on this now. The question was, what do you want to do with this business? Her answer was, I've been looking for a product like this, product like this all of my life. All my life, I've been looking for a product like this, product. So can we at least answer to ourselves that we get a question like, what do you want to do with the business? So answer what you want to do with the business.
Yeah. She did mention that she wanted to build a network.
Yeah.
So here's the question. You want to build a big business. What is not chasing, might not be the right word, is focusing on, people who have health conditions and trying to talk them into taking a product for their health. Are you going to build a big business that way?
No.
I would stop it then.
And listen, this is as if picking on Shauna. Shauna is a brilliant example how most people think. So Shauna, we're not picking on you, but we love the way you gave the answer, so we can work with that.
Yeah, that's been my problem, and I must really stop doing that. You did right, Steven. I must think of the business and not the product. You are spot on.
Yeah, I mean, offer people the whole menu. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, the reason I have a big business is, well, I had previous relationships with people. So when I started this, a couple of people reached out to me. They're like, yes, I want to be in partnership with you. But, you know, the reason I have a whole Australian business is because I reached out to someone who I thought was competent. And I said, hey, I want to launch this country, and I'm thinking of you for the business. Right. And then, you know, in Europe, Patrick actually reached out to me because someone had told him about it. Right. But then I'm like, let's build a business. That was the conversation.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, you know, you want to become more bulletproof on this as an opportunity and as a legitimate business, and you need to become more bulletproof in yourself as someone who can do this and as someone who other people should partner with.
Yeah.
Right. Because then you'll come across it with more confident energy. When you say the same words, it will have different impacts. So
Thanks.
I believe Eva had a question too, because we kept on talking. Eva?
No, I just wanted to add, but you guys said it already about people that are sick but don't want to take the product. They have to be willing to improve their situation.
Yeah.
So that's just, you guys said it.
Unsolicited health advice is the most unwelcome conversation out there.
You understand what he said? What he means by that?
Mhm.
Also the Dutch people, because, okay, can you say it in other words? Unasked.
Unsolicited, it means like talking
Giving
to people about a solution for their health when they didn't give you an indication that they're actually looking for a solution to their health is the most unwelcome conversation you could have with people.
Yeah.
And hence why it doesn't work, right?
yeah.
Understand that sickness can be a win for many people. You know what?
Yeah.
It can be a win, because if those people are not sick, no one is calling them anymore.
Yeah, it's their
Attention.
life. It's their life.
They,
Okay? So they float on that.
they seek attention.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah.
It can be that. It can also be that people aren't very good at taking personal responsibility for their life. So when their doctor says it's not fixable, this is the only way that works, then they filter all other information in their environment based on that.
I have another thing. Remember I told you the guy that has no credit card or PayPal?
Yeah.
He just called me. He said, send me send me 6 bottles. In the meantime, I'm going to have a credit card to get the biggest package. So those are serious people.
Yeah. They're looking for a solution instead of asking you to create that solution. So that's a great thing. We also have to talk about 2 things. Posture, actually, Steven talked about that. It is so important to know that you are backed up by not only a great product, but also a great team. Okay, so and you want to show that off, like you want to show people. That's why the 3-way calls are so important. People need to see, oh, so whenever I have a question, whenever I need support, there's a whole team behind you. It's not just you, it's not just Sean, it's not just Peter, it's not just Carlos. It's a whole team behind it. They need to feel that, not just see it and hear it. They need to feel that. Whoa, this is so different. I keep hearing this. This is so different from what I did. Never had so much support from a support team, they mean upline, from a support team ever.
Yes, I can vouch to that.
I want to give you a something to think about. Often people go, well, I don't have the money, or like my prospect, they can't afford it, right? So I would all like you to imagine one of these people you've had this conversation with. Does that make sense? Bob says, I don't have the $500. I don't have the $1,000. Can't do it, right? Now think of Bob. Okay, Bob told you, I don't have the $1,000 to do the business. Great. Now imagine Bob gets a phone call today, and the phone call is from a lawyer in New York City, and the lawyer goes, hey, I represent this certain wealthy man's estate who passed away. You might not know it, but you're in the will, you're a relative. I've been trying to reach you, but we're reading the will tomorrow in New York City, and there's you'll get $100,000 if you're here tomorrow. But sorry, it took me so long to catch you. You're like, so Bob is going to have to spend $1,000 on a last-minute plane ticket to New York City. Is Bob in New York City, or is he in Amsterdam feeling sorry for himself?
What do you think?
Is Bob who thinks Bob's going to be in New York City? Oh my God, he found the money. Fascinating.
If
Right?
it's
I mean,
priority.
we're not talking about that our prospects are living in Uganda where they would have to murder 3 people to get $1,000, right? That's
Uh,
not,
That's a great example.
that's not what we're dealing with here. You live in a
Oh,
country, you don't have money. Okay, well, you know people, there's options.
Yeah.
Sell stuff, you know? It's like, oh, I
yeah.
have a lady who she and her husband are on food stamps their entire married life. She signed up for $1,000 in a network marketing company. You know how she did it? She sold the product before she ordered it.
I've also been telling people that you can make a plan if you really want to. It's
Yeah.
priority. Yes.
So what does it come down to? Belief. Do you believe that you will make an extra 100,000 euro in the next 5 years? Extended 5 years. Do you believe you can do that? That's it. By helping people get control back of their holistic health.
Yeah. So we're talking about taking proper action, okay? What do you this is the number one most powerful, most consistent impact on what you do or don't do is that you will strive to operate in alignment with your identity, or we can say in alignment with how you see yourself as a person. What do I mean? Like, oh, I'm overweight and I have no self-control with food. I really want to be skinny though. Oh, shocker. I eat too much. Why? Because my self-image is I don't have any self-control over food, right? My self-image. Oh, I really want to be successful in network marketing, but I'm just not very good at this type of thing. But I really, really want to, so I'm going to try. Right. So there's a lot of ways to change this, writing out a different future so it integrates with your brain on who you are, what your life is like, having a different vision, right? Seeing a vision is to become pregnant with what you want. Like, okay, do you spend time imagining, visualizing yourself with the success you want? How does it feel? To convince yourself you are that person, then you'll take action,
Can you stay on that? Getting pregnant?
That's what you want.
Yeah, pregnant with the things you want. Can you
Yeah.
explain that a little bit? What happening when you're pregnant, everyone?
Absolutely. So,
Dating, yeah.
I meet a friend of mine. She's very pregnant, and she tells me, "Oh, Steve, I love this baby. I really love this baby." And I'm like, "I love holding babies, but I don't see a baby. Where's the baby? I want to hold the baby." She's like, "Okay, you can't hold the baby." I go, "Well, then you don't have a baby." She goes, "Believe me, I have a baby, and I already love this baby." I'm like, "How? But you don't have it. How can you love it?" She goes, "I do have it. I'm pregnant with this child, and I'm going to stay pregnant until I deliver the baby, and then we can both hold the baby." Okay. Having as you go through life, you operate in one of two ways. Your current circumstance and environment will impact what you're thinking and feeling and saying and doing, or you can use your God-given imagination and corresponding accurate emotion and see and feel yourself in the desired end result with such clarity of detail and corresponding accurate emotion that vision impacts what you're thinking, feeling, saying, and doing. So all of you want to build a business because you think if I built this business, then it would make me feel a certain way about life. You want to do it fast, you become pregnant with it. What does that mean? It's like I so clearly imagined it that I already have the emotions of it.
Yeah.
Right. I'll give you a good example. There's in America, there's the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. It's a sport. It's a combat sport. People get in a ring. They fight. Right. And women actually do this too. And there was a woman, her name was Misha Tate, and she wins the women's UFC championship. And a guy named Joe Rogan, who's a very famous podcaster, he's a ringside announcer, and he interviewed her in the ring after she won. And he's like, tell me how it feels to win. And she's like, oh, I'm so grateful, whatever she said. Well, the interesting thing is he had her on his podcast, and on the podcast, he asked her, like, imagine, right? I won.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something.
Mhm.
How did it feel for me to interview you when you won in the ring? You know what she said? She goes, I had so clearly imagined you interviewing me in the ring after I so clearly visualized it so clearly that when you did actually interview me, I wasn't sure if it was real or not.
Wow.
So you understand she had much of the benefit already of winning before she won, right? A mom who gives birth to a child, her emotions don't go from 0 to 100 when the child's born. I mean, they improve, right? But it's like, oh, yeah, you're finally here. But like they've already thought of names. They are decorating the room. They're talking about the kid. They're saving for college, like all sorts of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because they believe they already have a child. So without a vision, you can still build a big business, but you're going to be struggling against that your subconscious belief about yourself and how you see yourself is something entirely different. You know, it's like, here's one way. Without a vision, you never set the thermostat in your house, right? So it's like, oh, you know, it's super warm in here. Let's open up some windows. I want it to be cooler because it's cooler outside. Okay, so I open the windows, but when I don't change the thermostat on, what happens? The heat kicks on. Right? Oh, I want to have a good business, so I'm going to take some action. Okay, but have you changed internally how you see yourself? So I'm going to take action, but my action is pulling me further away from how I see myself. And I'm surprised when it keeps yanking me back to this, right?
Yeah.
How about I do this? How about I spend time changing the vision of myself so the vision pulls the reality to it? I'll give you an excellent example. Who wants a real world example, right?
Yes.
I do holistic energy healing coaching for people, and I had done it for a long time, done a good job at it for a long time, but only part-time. It was only a part-time income. And I reached a point in my life, I'm like, I think it's time to do it full-time. I'm ready to have a practice that gives me a full-time income. So this principle I knew, I understood, and I'm like, okay, what can my vision be? What can I imagine that will allow me to become pregnant with it and give birth to it as quickly as possible? And I thought for a bit. All of a sudden, I'm like, ooh, I know exactly what I'm going to do. So I imagined, in my imagination, I would meditate and I would pretend that it was Sunday night. Okay. I don't know about you, but often on Sunday night, I wonder, what does my week look like this coming week? Does that make sense? Like, oh, what do I got going on? So in my imagination, I would pull up Google Calendar on my phone for the week, right? And in my imagination, I saw appointments. You see, there's like appointments on my calendar here, right? Well, in my imagination, I saw a bunch of appointments that represent sessions with paying clients. You following me so far? And in my imagination, I would count every single one. I see, okay, I can see 2 on Monday, 3 on Tuesday, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, and I got to 18, and I would have a Saturday, I want to have 18 total for the week. So 18, 36, 72. I'm charging about $100 per session. That's about $7,000 a month. And I'm like, oh, that feels very important. That feels good to have a full-time business. I'm so excited. And you know what? I don't work 60 hours a week. I have free time. That feels good too, right? And I'm doing meaningful work for meaningful pay. That feels good too. Yeah. Then I ask myself a question, and if you don't write down anything from this whole hour, write this down. this is the thing to write down. I pointed my brain in a certain direction by asking the right question. And the question was, how come, past tense, how come it was so easy to create this business? How come it was so easy to create this business, right? So I assigned my brain a job of doing that. I'm not asking myself, how come no one is interested in Vidify? Like, who cares? That's the wrong question, right? How come it was so easy to create this? Now I got 3 ideas. My brain delivered 3 answers to me, okay? I implemented those 3 answers. Now I had been doing it part-time. For 8 years, I would love to have a full-time business. That would be great, but I didn't have one. When I got pregnant with it and I asked myself the right questions and I followed through on these 3 ideas, in 2 months, full-time business. But I was pregnant with it first. See? So when it shows up, you shouldn't be like shocked. You should be like, oh, I'm excited, but I've been living here already a bit. So.
I've been pregnant with the idea already. So you guys get that being pregnant with?
Yeah.
You get it, Carlos? You get it? So, let me see. There's one thing because we have to check the time because
Yes, of course.
By the way, what Sean was saying, everyone who starts has those things.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Sean, I'm just picking on you today because you had you have no idea how valuable your input is now.
Yeah.
You will find out. You will hear it from the people around you.
Yeah.
So Steven just shared something with us. Your mindset is that, well, I'm not worthy, or people don't want to work with me, or whatever. Okay. But you still want to build a profitable business. So what I like the most of what he just said, your thinking what you want is taking you away from what you think of yourself. Understand? So
Yes.
so this is you, and you're getting way too far away from what you think of yourself. And that's always pulling you back. Always.
Didn't we sit next to each other with the lunch last Saturday, John?
I don't know. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're from South Africa, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sit next to me.
Yeah.
Let me give you another way to think about this. Okay. So if I have an image of myself that I need to change, how do I do it? Right. Here's one example. And the man who taught this to me was the leadership coach for a company that went from 0 to $1 billion in sales in under 5 years. So I think he knows what he's talking about.
Absolutely.
Right. He says this because you can't learn how to win by losing. So how many of you have set many goals for yourself in your business that you have not hit? A lot of people. Does that make sense? You can't change your internal identity by consistently losing. It just reinforces that you're a loser.
Yep.
You just have more evidence.
Yep.
Right. So when you go to start a new goal, your internal voice goes, ha, bullshit. You have not followed through on anything for like 10 years. Come on. I know you want to, but let's be serious. This is not going to happen.
Failure is part of being successful.
Wait up, Peter. He's coming.
So I would say no, not when we're talking about your identity. Failure, consistently failing will kill your identity.
Yeah.
But here's what you do. Okay. This man, he was working with a woman and coaching her, and they would get together once a month and they would go over her goals in different areas of her life. Okay. So like finances, relationship, health, different things. Now in her health, she had a goal to stretch her back every single day. But according to her feedback, she wasn't doing it at all. So he says to her, he goes, you have to get rid of this goal. She goes, but I really need to do it. He goes, but you're not. She goes, but I really need to. He goes, no, absolutely not. I will not continue to allow you to fail. You must get rid of this goal. She goes, okay, here's the deal. She goes, I have a congenital spinal issue. My husband is a physical therapist. For my long-term health, this has to be solved. Right? He's like, okay. He goes, how about this? How about for the next month, your written goal in this area of your life is to stretch your back one single time? He goes, would you actually do it? She's like, yes. Yes, I would. He's like, great. Write it down. Right. So they get together the next month. He's like, how's that going? She goes, oh, I stretch my back once a week. He's like, now, according to her old goal, she would still be a failure. According to her new goal, he's like, congratulations, you are 400% above your stated goal. She goes, I feel pretty good. Interesting. Guess what? Now she stretches her back every single day. She had to put deposits in her personal integrity account. The coaches for ABC's Extreme Makeover Weight Loss Edition, they deal with people who have like 200 pounds to lose, right? And they said, when we get together with Bob, I'm picking on Bob a lot today. Bob's got 200 pounds to lose, right? So first they get together and Bob's like, okay, what's the plan? They're like, Bob, here's the plan. This week, all we want you to do, the only thing we need you to do is drink 1 quart of water more per day than you normally do. That's it. And Bob's like, sometimes the initial goal should make you laugh. Bob's like, of course I could do that. That's silly. They're like, don't worry about it. Set the goal and hit it and then celebrate it. He's like, okay, well, here's the deal. You talk to Bob now after he's lost 200 pounds and you ask Bob about his experience. And Bob is not going to say, I lost 200 pounds. What Bob is going to say is I learned how to keep promises to myself. Oh, interesting. But how did he have such a big transformation? He had to change his internal belief. He had to put deposits in his personal integrity account. He had to learn how to believe that he does what he says he's going to do. Right. And so for many of you, you have to go back and go, okay, I need to start setting some goals that I'm definitely going to hit them and celebrate them and tell other people. These team calls are a great opportunity to go, hey, by the way, my stated goal in front of everyone is to do this week. And don't make it big. You have to like have some experiences of like, you got to make sure you can come back next week and say, I did what I said I was going to do. And everyone's like, yay. Yeah. So there's especially a strong psychological impact if you can have that conversation. I did what I said I was going to do. If you can have that conversation in a group of your peers. Okay. So
And then they are going to ask you, how did you do that? Yeah.
Guys, this is powerful and it's almost over. Do we have another question that we can ask Steven?
But by the way, I actually want to share one other thing. So the other company I was with, Manatech, took me 13 years to start making a 6-figure income. And I'll give you some insights on what I changed before it changed for me, okay? One of the things I did is my wife and I made every effort we could to spend as much time with people who were successful in that business, right? Take him out to lunch. I mean, I started taking Ray Robbins out for lunch, right? He was the marketing director for the company. All the other people who were at the rank I wanted in my area, we made an effort to hang out with them, right? So it changed. Like it changes here's how to say it, environment and associations can take you where you can't go on your own. So it changed what we thought about ourselves on what was possible, you see? Like, oh, because we start thinking like those people. Like if everyone around you, it's like, I have a suggestion on how you could lose weight that I promise you is 100% successful. Absolutely guaranteed. Who's interested in what it is? Anybody? Anybody?
Everyone.
Everyone, yes.
Yeah. So what you do, it's actually one simple thing you have to do. Very, very simple. Not easy, but simple. You move and you live in Aspen, Colorado. Aspen, Colorado. Why Aspen? Because everyone, and I do mean everyone who lives in Aspen is healthy and fit. No, except one guy. I knew when I lived there, the radio DJ, he was overweight. Other than that, if you see an overweight person walking down the sidewalk, they're a tourist. Guarantee you. Now, why is that the case? Because if I move there and I live there and everyone else is eating right and exercising, I am not going to be below the average for very long. I'm going to start acting like all the people around me.
Yes.
The converse is also the case, right? If all of a sudden I'm the only fit, healthy person in the town I live in, and everyone is making fun of me for exercising and eating healthy, and why don't you drink with us? And what's your problem? And guess what? I'm not going to be above average for very long either. Right. But so it made an impact on me. Does that make sense? I was like, oh, I'm like, these people are like me. That's why this is one reason why we love people to come to meetings and for them to see someone successful and they're like, oh, wait a second. They're just like me. Oh, if they could do it, I could do it. Right? Because a lot of you people, you want to have a certain level of success, but you don't really actually think you could do it.
Jim Rohn once said, if you want to be an eagle, you have to fly with the eagles.
Yep.
That's 100% accurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is so powerful, guys. People can tell who you're hanging out with. You know, if they look at the people around you, they know, oh, this is who you are. Because you will adapt to your environment. That's what human beings do. Okay. I think every species does that. They do that. You know?
I have another question for you, Stephen. What about Christians? Do you normally also reach out to Christians? Because I also think, you know, if you can make them see the value of if you earn more, you can give more. But it seems that maybe Christians don't think like that.
Yeah, I know. I don't personally target that group of people. I do find a lot of those people end up in my business. There's often a certain affinity to this type of business and helping people. That's true. Conversely, I will say this: if someone tries to get me to do business with them based on the fact that they are a Christian, it will make me less likely to do it. Because if you have to use your Christian witness, like, oh, do business with me because I'm a Christian, I'm like, well, either you're the best or you're not. And there's too often there's just those people aren't actually that ethical, which is very sad to say. But
yeah.
So it's not. Don't target Christians. Target people who are already having success in their life, right? Because a lot of you on here, if you're not talking to your super successful friends, because you're like, well, they don't need the business. It's like, guess how many businesses Sir Richard Branson has? How many people? Someone throw a number out there. How many businesses does Richard Branson have?
60?
Over 400.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right. I was hanging out with a guy and my upline said, oh, this guy Stuart, we're staying at his house. They go, Steve, do you know Stuart is worth $50 million? I'm like, holy crap, $50 million. And here he is working on his network marketing business with us. And so the next day I go, Stuart, how come you would do this business? And Stuart looks at me like, oh, I'm not very smart. And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, it's a low startup cost, no employees, no overhead, great tax benefits, high upside income potential, and great opportunity for residual income. He goes, what's not to love about this kind of business? Oh, people who have money, you know what they like to do? They like
Make
to,
more.
More, yeah.
you know, here's the problem is there's a lot of times there's very successful people who are not business owners in the strict sense of it. And they have money, but the more money they get, the less freedom they get. And they feel trapped and they're unhappy. And they're like, how do I get off this ride? This is not the way it's supposed to turn out. And so our business, if done properly, has really unique potential of giving someone back their time.
Especially people who don't have time.
Exactly. Yeah. So unless you're a business owner, and when I say business owner, I mean like you can walk away from the business and it still runs. There are a lot of people who have businesses, maybe who have a lot of money, but they can't leave because then their business doesn't work if they're not there. So the business owns them. They don't not own a business, right?
Yeah. So I hope this helped, guys, because we see how important mindset is. See how important it is, how you think about yourself. And that it's a normal thing that if you, with your goals, walking away from your thought about yourself is never going to help you get to that goal you have. Okay? Hang out with the people that you want to be, you know, goal-wise, I mean, yeah, stay you. I want you to stay you, of course. Do we have any final questions? Someone who didn't ask a question, come on. Roy, where's Roy?
Andrea.
Andrea.
Yeah, I'd like to know the launch of Saga. Where will be that? When?
Online next, I think Saturday or Sunday. Do you remember?
Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Coming Sunday.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And can I have a question from Elfrida Toll? Do you have a question? She's the leader in Suriname, actually now here in the Netherlands, but she's the one bringing this to the next level.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Steven.
Good morning.
I wanted to ask a question, but this lady asked it before about what's the name? Glenn? Huh? Saga. Yeah, that's Saga team. I wanted to know about that, but the lady asked it before. That's why I was so glad.
Yeah. We'll have that.
What can it add to my business?
It adds the system to it.
Okay.
To take guesswork out of what should I do, right? To make sure you take more and more effective action on a daily basis, and then give your team the ability to plug into a system where they also take more effective action. Because when people are confused on what to do, they don't take any action. So, you know, a lot of people go, well, I want to build a business. What do I do? I'm like, I'm not sure. I guess I have to figure it out.
And what to find.
Okay, I need it. So I need this one.
Yeah,
yes.
We all do need.
It will be great. I'm very excited for my business. Hugely excited because I need more structure in my own life. Because I do a very poor job at following up with people.
Okay.
So the system tells you that 2 days after sign up, did you get the package? Any questions? It warns you what to do.
Yeah, so you'll put people into the system, prospects. The system will go, well, how much do you want to work on your business on a daily basis? And then it will give you that amount of tasks to do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically telling you what to do.
Yeah. So we have like people who have no social media experience, and like 6 months later they've got 20,000 followers on Instagram, and they're like, oh my God, how did you do that? They're like, I did what I was told to do. Really.
Last thing I want to add, because we talked about what to do on social media. At least promise me one thing: be of value to other people. Meaning, whatever you post, it's either humor that people feel happy, or you give them something they can work with and then, wow, thank you for sharing this because I needed to hear this. Something like that. Be of value to other people. That's where you will create a bigger follower team or friends, how you want to call it. People will follow you because they like what you post. And it doesn't matter what. If you're in the music, focus on music. Post something musical. If you're into tennis, if you're into sports, if you're into whatever, horses, I don't care. Post what you're into, but make it be of value to other people. Yes. So if you read it, you say, "Oh wow, I would be happy to read this or to see this post." Can we do that? Yes. I think I have to take Steven to the airport. I'm gonna stop recording.